Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming. My name is Hollow, and yeah, it is finally Lost Ark's release week. Whether you're playing via the head start or you're waiting until Friday for the free-to-play release, we will be playing our official servers in the West at long last after what feels like an eternity of waiting. With that, obviously, there's a lot of completely new players that are going to be jumping in this week. Maybe people who missed the beta or people who are even seeing Lost Ark for the first time. For those new players, I wanted to put together a quick video explaining what I consider the most important things going in and then through your journey to max. If you're rushing there or you want to know what to do on the way, and general information and tips that are going to help you. So here's my beginner's guide to Lost Ark. I'll be organizing this into sections, starting with my advice for the fresh characters entering the world for the first time. As you finish making your character, you'll be sent to this small and mysterious area. Here, you'll be given an all-important choice. Which class are you going to play? What are you going to ultimately main? Lost Ark has 5 archetypes: warrior, martial artist, mage, gunner, and assassin, and you'll have to pick one of those to make a character. Each archetype then has various subclasses to choose between, and they all work differently. If you first know which archetype you like, you can then go on to test each and every subclass for that. They'll give you a loadout of a few abilities that should give you an idea of how that class plays, but what's important to know, I think, is that it's only a few of the many abilities you're going to unlock in the real game, and doesn't even involve the tripod modifications to those skills you get. So this is a good way to try the subclasses and, see what you'd like, but I want you to keep in mind that this does not fully represent the class and the playstyle of that class. Imagine you're seeing one type of the 20 plus skills you're going to get later, and then each skill has like 5 ways you can modify it on top of that. Speaking of which, let me explain what I mean by the tripod system. These are basically your builds. You're going to often hear the term tripod in Lost Ark. This simply refers to the options you have with each combat skill. Now, when you level up, you earn skill points, and you can get skill points from other specific content in game as well, but for now, let's just think about the ones you get from leveling. So the skill points you earn from leveling can be spent on your skills, improving their power and unlocking the first tier of the tripod for that skill. You will now have 3 options to change how the ability works directly or give it new passive benefits. Super impactful and very important. At tier 2, you're going to get more options to choose between, and at tier 3, you get the final set and main upgrades for that skill. What's good to know then is how you can freely spend these skill points and then reset to change anything you want. I think that's wonderful because it means you can experiment constantly with no real issues, especially when you're leveling up and getting new skills and want to try them, so you want to upgrade them, and there's nothing stopping you from full resetting every time and doing that. Alright, now we've made our class and we're jumping into the world in full, here's some very important things to know. Something you're going to find yourself doing forever if you're not careful is manually looting everything. It's fine at first, but will be a huge problem when hundreds of items are dropping at once, and it can happen. Lost Ark actually has an auto loot system that you can miss, which is obviously nicer, right? I know firsthand that people are going to miss this because Josh is someone who did. When you reach the first town, you'll see the purple quest from a sort of small white lion called Arch 8 Meow. Horrible name that. This is the quest that unlocks pets, netting you the bunny as your first pet. It's a guide quest called Learning About Pets. Pets can be then found in the pet menu, opening with Alt-P, and here we can summon any pet we've earned, and while that pet is actually active and out with us, it will automatically loot everything that drops. That loot will go straight into your own inventory as if you looted it manually, so that's perfect. Do not miss this. Which brings me to an important topic then, leveling. Leveling is pretty simple in Lost Ark, but you can overcomplicate it. There's hundreds of systems constantly being introduced to you. It's a massive world, there's a lot of locations, and the bombardment of side quests everywhere, could overwhelm you. Should you be doing side quests? No. Thankfully, all you need to do to reach level 50 is complete the main story quests, which will at a certain point run out. At that stage, we'll convert to world quests as a blue globe icon, and that functions the same as the main quest did. You just follow that story and world quests all the way to level 49. That's when it'll become an issue. At this stage, you'll have reached the land of Vern, and that's when I recommend you start doing side quests or any other XP gaining content like maybe a dungeon to basically top off the last bit of missing XP you'll have. The reason we wait until this late point to do any side stuff is because the rewards for doing later, higher level side stuff are better. Ultimately, if you're in no rush, do anything and everything you want, but just know you don't need to do anything with main quests. Now, while you are leveling, I want to let you know about 2 awesome features. Firstly, as you're gearing up as you level, the UI is going to be pretty kind and show you, what equipment is better for you. Its eye level and stats are better, so it has an arrow that's pointing up indicating so. The thing is, what should you do with your old gear that you're no longer using? Or maybe gear you're never planning on using? You want to dismantle it. Dismantling your gear extracts materials from it. And if it's good gear, then you might get something important. But ultimately, you're going to be left with various scraps that take up less space in your inventory because, you can stack them compared to all the different items and gear pieces. We can dismantle at any time by pressing the button at the bottom of the inventory screen. And these scraps that you get from dismantling, you can actually sell them to a vendor as a reliable way to make some money, especially when leveling, since you're going to be changing your gear a lot. So absolutely be dismantling the gear you're not going to use. Secondly, at roughly level 26 or 27, you're going to reach your first main city. This, importantly, is where you'll also unlock PvP for the first time. If you didn't know, PvP is balanced, so gear and level don't matter. The moment you've unlocked it, you are given a PvP skill set to decide, and that has a limited amount of points to spend. Everyone gets the same amount. So here we can choose any of the class abilities and modify them with those points we get. So the moment you unlock PvP, you can technically go try all of that class's abilities before you even hit max level, which is a great way to learn a class early on. Maybe if you're not sure about a class and want to see how it actually works before you hit 50, well, that's a great way. All right, the last thing I want to talk about are some endgame aspects. Now you've hit level 50 and you will unlock the initial endgame of Lost Ark, you will now have access to dailies, weeklies, and so on. These are specific types of content that reward materials for upgrading, as well as gear drops, and all gated stuff based on your current power level. Power level is decided by your item level, or eye level for short. We'll always want to do the highest level content we have available currently every day or week that it's back again. So this is where alts come in. Alts, or alternative characters, are considered very important in Lost Ark, because a lot of the endgame content is on either a daily or weekly lockout, as I said. With an alt, you can then swap character and then run the dailies and weeklies a second, third, or however many alts you've got to get those important rewards like gold even faster. And you can use this to sort of funnel currency and power into your main instead of just waiting on the lockout. Having 2 to 3 characters and funneling your lockout rewards towards that main is a great way to keep up with the highest level players if you desire to compete in that way. Thing is, I actually think most people are going to be creating alts for reasons completely different to like a meta slave reason. It's because they're fun. You could try PvP on a second class with no issues with power level. It's just fun to try other playstyles. Generally, I'd say it's a waste not to try an alt in a game like this that's so well equipped for them. Lastly then, end game tiers. A term you're going to hear in Lost Ark is gear tiers. Tier 1, 2, and 3 are our current tiers we're going to have in the 1.0 version of Lost Ark. Basically, Tier 1 is unlocked after you hit 50 and have access to the first set of endgame content. As you progress in power and eye level, you'll eventually reach the second tier, unlocking a whole new set of content, and hey, the rewards are going to be better. Again though, at Tier 3, the same thing. New content, better rewards. The currency you get by completing Tier 3 content is something like 10 times more than Tier 1 rewards, so it's a big deal. Tier 1 is essentially level 50, where you begin at around eye level 250. Once you hit eye level 600, that's when you're unlocking Tier 2 content. Lastly, at Tier 3, the true endgame, you will unlock this set of content at eye level 1100 and above. But I really wouldn't worry about that happening super quickly. At Tier 3, once you reach that, your gear progression is going to slow down a lot. And at that tier, gear stats are going to matter more. Before then, all I would say is just increase your eye level using gear that has your main stat on it. It's not too complicated. But there you have it. Those are the main things I want you to know about on your journey as a new player all the way to endgame. And of course, there's so much more I could say about all of these systems, like how to level the fastest, how to get the most out of PvP, how endgame is actually going to work, and I plan to come back with videos dedicated to these topics and more soon. In the meantime, I hope these tips have helped you. Do drop a like on the video if it did, and maybe share the video if you know someone who would benefit. But otherwise, enjoy Lost Ark launch, and until next time, I've been Hollow, you've been you, thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.